Greetings, my sports to the bone people. Back at it again with another video. So, one thing we know for sure, until CWI comes out and say, listen, this is our new test captain, the debate will continue, the conversations will continue. People will always come out and give their opinions. And personally, I have no problems with that. I believe that if you are supporting a team, then you should be able to voice your opinion on different topics. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at what batting great Sir Viv Richards had to say about the test captaincy. He has an idea of the direction that CWI should take things. So we'll take a look at that. We will also briefly talk a little bit about Shimron Hetty. I have said it before, not a lot of our players are actually taking part in the IPL this year, but I still try my best to highlight the ones that are there and if they get an opportunity to play. A lot of people have turned their back on some of these players because they are saying, they are not playing international cricket. But if they are from the region and they are taking part in different leagues, I will still give them a little highlight. So yesterday, Shimron Hetty, he once again showed his batting prowess, but unfortunately for him and the Rajasthan Royals, it wasn't enough. So they went up against the Titans. The Titans scored 217 for 6, right? 217 for 6. In reply, the Rajasthan Royals, they scored 159 all out. And I'm just zooming in on this innings here. Sheffield Rutherford was also involved in this game. He scored 7 of 3 for the Titans, right? So that was Sheffield Rutherford. Now, Shimron Hetty, he got on a half century, right? He actually top scored for his team, 52 from 32, 4 fours and 3 sixes. And he batted at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, number 6, right? So we have seen this season, where they have utilized him at 8, 7, and in yesterday's game, he was back to his usual spot, number 6. So he scored 52 from 32, 4 fours and 3 sixes, but it wasn't enough to get the team across the line. They lost that game there by 58 runs. So Sheffield Rutherford and Shimron Hetty doing battle in yesterday's game, with Rutherford coming out on top. So that's the update where the IPL is concerned. That game was from yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to touch on it last night because of the championship, the West Indies championship. All right, let's do a little bit of reading with this one now. Taking it from the Sportsmax website. And this is where former West Indies captain Sir Viv Richards, he was talking about the test captaincy. And he believes that West Indies, CWI, they should appoint a young captain, somebody with potential, somebody who makes the team. You understand? Not just appointing a captain, but somebody who can actually command a spot in the team. That has been that has also been my opinion that, listen, you need to appoint a captain that commands a spot in the team. Many will say that the reason Rahman Poor lost his spot lost his captaincy is because, even though he was winning games, he didn't command a spot in the team. So I don't know. I see a lot of people putting up different names, and in my opinion, some of these names wouldn't command a spot in the test team, even though the test team right now isn't the strongest. All right, so let us take a look at what Sir Viv Richards had to say. So the headline says, limited options. Sir Viv cites young, respectable player for test captaincy as CWI yet to name Brathwaite's replacement. So it says, legendary West Indies batsman and former captain Sir Viv Richards believes Cricket West Indies may need to take a bold step and identify a young player with leadership potential to take over the test captaincy following Brathwaite's resignation. Right? Let's take a look at Sir Viv now. So this is Sir Viv, and I quote, I don't know if they made enough preparations for that particular format. Talking about the test format, right? He went on to say, we see a lot of potential leaders in the ODI and T20 formats. But I don't think they would have made enough preparations for someone taking over from Brathwaite. And it has basically opened the doors. We have to look at individuals who can demand a place, I believe, and that's very important. I believe that's important also. You know, you want somebody to come, obviously, and put Sammy's plans in place and all of that on the field. But if somebody is in the team and they are not commanding a spot, then worse, if the team is not winning, it's going to be a problem. You're going to be calling for the captain to be dropped. You know, I don't see how you just put in somebody to captain the team. The team is not that good. If you have a team that is dominant, you probably can take a chance and say, you know, let's get a man that is a good leader to lead this crop of players. He might not be the best batsman in the world, the best bowler in the world, but he's a good leader. You know, so let us get him to lead this group of very good players. We don't have that. We do not have that. So, you know, it's going to be tough. You understand? And Sir Viv Richards is a man that knows what he's talking about, you know. Captain West Indies in 50 tests without ever losing a series, right? That is the sort of experience we're talking about. We're not talking about sports to the bone, sitting in his car, sitting in a chair and pretending and behaving as if he has been there and done that. You understand? I just talk off base on how I see it. You know, these are people talking about somebody like a Sir Viv. He has been there and done that. So Viv went on to say, maybe it's time to look at the individuals with potential, not just basically with batting skills, but someone who is pretty astute with the game and someone who demands the respect of the individuals they are going to lead. So all of these things are crucial. So you're saying that you want somebody that can demand a spot in the team, yes, but he should know that this person should be able to command the respect of his peers. You know, so very interesting, you know, very, very interesting. He also gave his opinion on Craig Brathwaite. This is it, and I quote, he's still going to play because when you look at what we have around at present, he's held his own for quite some time, but maybe the captaincy took a toll. If the team is not doing well and you are also not doing well, it wears you down. And in my opinion, maybe that's the way he's feeling, end quote. So that's Sir Viv Richards there giving his opinion on the captaincy situation, saying that, listen, it's time we take a look at a young player, somebody that is going to come in that can they have the batting skill, yes, but they can, you know, they also have the potential to lead. You understand? So we'll definitely see how this one goes. It's a tricky spot for West Indies team right now. You understand? We have a couple of guys who are on their way out. You understand? Somebody like Kemar Roach is still in the squad, but you know, he's probably very close to retiring. Not calling on retirement on anyone. So unless he would be, I don't know if Sammy would want to do an interim thing where, you know, he would probably ask Roach to. I see people mentioning Roach's name. That this is why I'm saying this, but I personally don't believe we need to go in that direction. But if we are going to do that, it would probably be a case of getting him to do a couple of games, and then whoever they have in mind, you know, they just work themselves in, because Brathwaite is probably the only settled batsman we have in the team. You understand? When I say settled, I don't mean scoring a lot of runs, but somebody that you know, he's probably still going to command a spot in the team. I know that his performances, they haven't been the best, or you know, but obviously with the captaincy now not on his shoulder or on his shoulders, I think they are probably going to try him for a couple more games and see how he performs. His average is probably still the best that we have in the team. So let us see, my people. Big up on yourself. We'll touch base later on after the day 2 in round 7 of the championship. Bless.